Welcome to the second half of the Bobby Dupree Show, and my sidekick here, Andrew Bdthurs.
Good morning.
The 12th Annual Catfish Festival, new dates, April 14th to the 17th. So you might want to keep that in mind, because in the past, that's been an event that takes place in March. They had a lot of rain conditions during that time.
Cold weather.
And possibly because of being able to get certain bands and all. It's hard to book these bands, and they have about the best slate of bands that you can buy for the money that they have. And they do a good job. And then, of course, many of you now come with your motorhomes and all. There's some nice hookups there. So it's a fun weekend. That's downtown Washington. When you get off of I-49, you land right on the right. And we want to
Veterans Boulevard.
That's correct. And
we've got the cancer fundraiser coming up February the 19th. That's the Creators Canvas Cancer Research Project that they host every year. It'll be at the Delta Grand on 120 South Market. Tickets are $25 a single, $35 a couple, and it's going to be kind of prom night style. So you can call Miss Teresa Stelly, 331-2201.
yeah, second
This
coming,
weekend.
yes, second coming of the
Of your prom.
That's correct. That's correct. I went over to Prejean's for a morning breakfast.
Yeah, good breakfast there.
Mr. Carol Castile and Don Hogruder, I think it was the two of them, had a breakfast, and it was an introduction to Nathan
Granger,
who's running for Senate this Saturday. By the way, y'all, all of you living in that district, please go and express your views by voting. And it's kind of an off election, so every vote really counts, because it's going to be a light vote. So it's who can get there. Both parties seem to be working very hard, and it's who can get their voters out there. A gentleman walked by me. He says, "I know you don't know me, but," he says, "I'm B.J. Gilbert," and he's a horse trainer, and he trains for one of his people that he trains for is the Valine family. They have a lot of horses in different tracks in Texas and in Louisiana. He says he enjoys the program. How about that? We appreciate that very much. Doobie Arsenault was there. I sat with Doobie and Hammy Patam. He's a character.
That is a character.
Never changes. Let's see. Friday afternoon, I think it was, I was taken to lunch. Ken Fakuri treated me to lunch Friday, and after we had our lunch, he went to check on, he was loading a dozer onto a truck, and they had run into some bogging problems, but he talked them out of it on the phone, told Noah what to bring over there to get the truck moving again. St. Landry Lumber Company was going to be bringing the dozer over to Toledo Bend. And there was a truck and a trailer parked in front of where the St. Landry lumber truck needed to drive out of, and we went in there, and it was a young man by the name of Scott Zarang, and he's from over, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the Dusson area. He watches the program, and he says he enjoys the program. He was glad to meet, never thought he would ever, meet us in person.
We go everywhere.
And he delivers Evangeline-made products in his personal truck.
You talked about the manager just last week.
Mr. Chick Harris, that's correct. And Bobby Duhon is in charge, not the Bobby Duhon with the oil field, but the Bobby Duhon who is with Evangeline Made in charge of transportation. So, of course, Scott knows them very well. Nice young man. Good luck to you, and thanks for saying the kind words to me. It makes us get up and be here to tape the program every Wednesday.
We have a 5K 1-mile run coming up. First annual Victory for Veterans, called the Opelousas Boudin Race, starting Saturday, February 26th at 8 a.m. at the St. Landry Parish Resource Center. That's over on Cresswell Lane by the school board. Go by. It's $25 to register, $30 if you show up the day of the event, but you can get with them ahead of time. by calling Elliot Myers, 945-9159. All proceeds are going to go to help build that new Veterans Monument that's going on over at the in front of Evangeline Downs on the Cresswell Lane extension.
Right. And by the way, I have a packet, and Miss, oh shoot, our good friend, Miss Gilroy.
Miss Gilroy.
Yep, Miss Gilroy left a packet for me. So next
it's
week,
related.
yeah, it's related to it, right?
We-
Some pertinent information.
We also have the Lilly Scholarship. The Charles and Antonia Lilly Memorial Scholarship for St. Larry Parish High School seniors is being given by the Knights of Columbus Council, 1173. The scholarship is for $1,000. You have to register by April 30th. Call Ken Thibodeau, 942-2736. I met Ken Thibodeau's brother at the funeral home for Ryan's mother, married to a Chotin himself. So good morning.
On the debt side, we have several debts which I want to touch on briefly, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Knowlton Laverne, tin shop man, the roofing man, many years, and of course he's very fortunate he was able to pass his business on down to his son Jody. And about between 11 and 12 years ago, he had a very serious stroke, and he's been incapacitated to some degree during all of this time. And Jody asked, and his wife, Miss Elsie, asked that I please say thanks to all the people that have been so kind and considerate and offered the prayers that they offered as groups and as individual families. It was beautiful. Jody was telling me this. He says, it's almost unbelievable. You don't know it's happening until you needing it, and they were there for us. They helped out every way they possibly could. So again, that's a Cajun a way of, I guess, doing business.
I went to see him one day. Someone had made me a wooden Cajun microwave, and I didn't have the metal inside. And I went to see him because somebody said, you might know what to do with that. He says, you know, I've never made an insert for that before. He says, but I could use a lightweight metal I think you'd like. And he did it, made the lid and everything, did a beautiful, I mean, this thing, it looks too pretty to use. I mean, did that good of a job. So.
And talking about Jody, his wife is Janine, and they have 2 children, Kyle and I'll get it right here, and Haley. That's their 2 children. I was able to see both of them. Didn't get to see Janine. I guess she was moving around in the funeral home, and I didn't have a whole lot of time, but it reminded me of a beautiful trip that we took years ago and went skiing in Colorado, and that's when I really got to knowing Lil Noah, and we've been buddies. He's my little buddy ever since. And Kyle and Haley both remembered the trip very well. My sympathies. And let me have one more.
You go.
Alan Quibido. Alan Quibido, I guess, sold me my first nice clothes I ever owned over at Abdallah's men's clothing department.
A lot of us, even me.
In Opelousas. Yeah, he's still working when you were. And then after that, he went to work for another store when Abdallah's finally closed here in Opelousas. I rushed over to visit. I got there at the last minute today, but I was able to visit with the family members. And Deacon Sammy Deasy was saying the closing prayers, and it made me realize how many things services that the deacons provide throughout the world. This is a new phenomenon. Ooh, now wait a while. David Como will really get mad at me about that.
Popped back up in the 70s. He started again where they started to come.
And so we want to thank the deacons all over. You take, for instance, over at the Point, Sycamore Point, the Catholic chapel there, is an Asian priest. He's Vietnamese, and his English is very poor, very intelligent. He writes a beautiful sermon, but he pretty sharp little fella because he allows Deacon Thomas and Deacon Berg to give
deliver the sermon.
To deliver the sermon. And another instance of how big a role they play in the Catholic faith today. And walking outside, I was kidding Dickie Oye, and that about probably one of my first nice sets of clothes that I bought was with Mr. Alan Quibido, and he says, yeah, and he was good at matching colors. And you had commented about the same thing before.
And show you how to dress. Put the jacket, okay, your cuff should be here. I was a little country kid. The man showed me how I was supposed to wear the jacket and the tie and how the thing would go.
And Frida Baudelaire-Meyer was walking out at the same time, and she commented, she says, I'm not always able to watch the program on Thursday morning, but Bobby, we tape it.
There you go.
How about that? So anyhow, no matter where we go, we try to spread some good word and listen. Ms. Emma Krotz Quibido from Krotz Springs, she died. And of course, her grandfather was the founder of Krotz Springs. So quite an interesting lady, and I know her daughter very well, Glenda.
Sort of a historian around town, knew all the history of the early times.
They ran a grocery store, she and her husband, for over 50 years. So they saw the town grow. Another person who died recently, Miss Unilee Thibodeau Sylvester. That's Mr. Chester's wife, and
Right.
I knew her. I had been in her company a few times. Very hard working. They work a lot of land, and these wives of the farmers, they play a big role in preparing the food and running errands, getting parts.
A lot of times the bookkeeping for the family, the whole 9
For the
yards.
whole 9 yards. A real sweet lady. So Mr. Chester and all of the family, my very deepest sympathy. Sorry I could not be with you all in your particular time. We'll catch a couple more in a few minutes.
Joe Smith Furniture, all your furniture needs right here in Opelousas. It's tax season. Go buy for the tax season sale. I know you're getting those refunds in. You can go and spend a little bit of that money to upgrade the house because you got a little money you weren't planning on having. They got a 50,000 square foot showroom. They've got reclining sofas with the glider love seats package deals. They got 5-piece table and chairs, sofas and love seats and chair packages. Come in, and don't forget the mattress outlet is right next door as well, so you can get a brand new great mattress that sleeps much better in your old bedroom set. Go by. And how about if I sneak one more on you? How about Piggly Wiggly? All your grocery needs throughout South Louisiana, they got it. If you go by your local Piggly Wiggly, and boy, my Piggly Wiggly flour is getting away from me. They've got the quarter loin pork chops at $1.49 a pound. They got friars, thighs, or drumsticks at 99 cents a pound. Don't forget your local Piggly Wiggly all over the place. Opelousas, Church Point, beautiful downtown Church Point, which a lot of you are going to go by there come Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is right around the corner, so you can be picking up stuff to go barbecuing.
Couple of weeks.
Church Point does their Mardi Gras run on that Sunday. You got Rain, Louisiana down there with the Frog Festival coming up. Scott, Louisiana, out near Lafayette when you go to all them children's parades. Cecilia, Louisiana, and beautiful St. Martinville, your local Piggly Wiggly.
While I was at the Knowlton Laverne wake, met up with a longtime friend who I'd never see him. I don't know, he lives right there in Lawtell, Levy Boudreau. Levy and I were in college together, and he has a picture of a group of us, and I ran for president of the Department of Education, and we lost, and if I recall correct, I hadn't thought about that in years.
KSLO will see you on the other side or 3. That's one of the few races you've ever lost.
That's right. The talking a lot, I'll never lose that race. But he's gonna get the picture over to me, and we'll copy it. We'll make a copy of it.
Excellent.
And he and his wife, of course, were there, and we visited. And I visited with another person from Lawtell I had not seen in a long time, and Mr. John Lejeune, the tire repair man. And real personable, and maybe we could get together and have some coffee, Levy and John and the wives. Anytime y'all ready, just give me a call.
And I saw that this week we had our 2 coaches appointed here in St. Landry Parish.
Exactly. Coach Dautrieve, Larry Dautrieve, will be returning almost 20 years to the date from his first time here, and he served about 6 years at Opelousas High, and then about 4 years at Opelousas Catholic. Then he went into another down around not